And if someone wants to pursue something in launch code, how do they get to that?
So they would have to just go to the website launchcourt, I think it's .org. You can look in their website and see which path you would be interested in, and then just follow so that you get notifications when the applications are open.
Great. Hi, today's guest and deep dive with Varuna is Mayela Zambrano. She's from Spain, but she came here to US for higher studies. She did her master's and PhD in linguistics, and she worked as a lecturer in a university and then decided to change her career path. She became an IT professional. And today we are going to deep dive on how that transformation happened, why, and how she's doing right now. Now you're a senior data engineer, right, Myla?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Yeah, so proud of you.
Thank you.
And thank you very much for being my guest today, Myla.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'd love to be here.
Myla is my ex-colleague. We worked briefly for when I was in IT, and then I'm always in awe with you. I thought you would, I would want to learn more about you and let everyone know about you. So, what was the reason for changing your career path?
Okay, it's a long story, so I'm gonna try to not go into the branches a little bit, but I originally, like Varuna said, I came to the US, started to do a master's and a PhD, and then I married my partner who's also in academia. And so when he finished his program, he got a job at a university, and then we started having what in academia is commonly known or referred to as a two-body problem. When you have two professionals in academia, it's really hard for both of you to get a good position at the same university at the same time. It's like the stars have to align. Yeah. So when he got a job at his university, they offered me kind of a part-time job, so that it was kind of like a spousal hire, it's called. But the job was not, the conditions were not amazing. It was just kind of something to get out of the way. So I could come with him. And then when it was my turn to start looking for jobs, I started looking for jobs all over the country. That's how kind of academia jobs, you apply for everything that pops up in your field, and you apply all over the country. And then it was going to be the same situation for my partner to have to find like maybe not a great job if I got accepted somewhere. So it was kind of messy. And I had a friend who worked at a big social media company who told me they were hiring linguists for their natural language processing, for, like all of this Siri, Alexa, Portal, all of these things. They need people who study languages and respond and know how to respond to that. And that's what opened my mind to, oh, wait, I can do other things with my PhD in linguistics. I don't have to just be a researcher and a professor. Like, that's amazing. And then I applied for that job and then got some interviews, but it was not the right time. And then someone told me about a nonprofit that offered coding training especially for women and minorities. And I applied to it and I got in, and then they taught me a little bit. It was like a 6-month course, and I did it. And after that, I got an apprenticeship, and here I am.
Wonderful journey. So here I would like to ask you about launch code. What is launch code, and could you give more details about launch code and how it helped you grow in your career?
Yes, of course. So Launch Code is a nonprofit. It's a local nonprofit from St. Louis. This is where I live, but they have expanded to Kansas City and Philadelphia. And their mission was to get more people trained in tech and technology. I think the founder, he wanted to create a hub here in St. Louis, and he just couldn't find enough people to hire. There were not enough people trained to hire. And so he decided to create this organization that's training. It's like a boot camp, in that it's a 6-month program where you meet weekly and you work a lot on your own, and then you come up with a final project. And once you're done, then you can request that they put you in like a bucket or like a list for an apprenticeship. They have partnered with companies across the area to try to get you an apprenticeship, and if the company likes you, then the company ends up hiring you.
And it's free, right?
Yes, it's free, and it's tailored towards women and people in the minorities. There is a program for all genders. My partner actually did it too, but most of the programs are tailored for that, and it is completely free. Yeah.
And then do you get to choose what courses you want to take, or do they help you guide with the skill sets that you think would they think you would be a good fit?
You cannot just go blindly into from what you've heard. You apply to something. It's really hard to get it too. You have to apply, and depending on how many people apply to that, because I think they do it. The one I did, it was called Data Girl when I did it, and now it's called Women Plus. And so it depends on how many cohorts, how many people are applying. I think they do it twice a year, and then you cannot decide which one you want to apply to. And so you might as well just apply to everything if you're not sure what you want to do. I applied for one in data analysis because I thought, oh, I analyze data in my PhD. I should be able to do this. That's kind of my reasoning. But there are a lot of people who are like, oh, I've heard about UX. I'm going to do UX. Like people just do it blindly. And then once you get accepted into a path, then everything is set. Like you do that path and you finish that path. Okay. There are people who do multiple, like they finish one and then maybe they do another one. I've heard of people doing two at the same time. Yeah.
Wow. Great. That's so nice, like to offer such a great help.
I know. I'm so thankful for everything. If you look at LaunchCode, you'll see they portray my story too. So if you Google my name with LaunchCode, then you'll see my story with them too. I try to support them as much as we can. They do a lot of events to support them. And so, yeah, we support them a lot. And yeah, it's great. Yeah. They're great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's like giving back to them, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And if someone wants to pursue something in LaunchCode, how do they get to that?
So they would have to just go to the website LaunchCode, I think it's .org. You can look in their website and see which path you would be interested in, and then just follow so that you get notifications when the applications are open.
Great. I'll leave the link in the description. So if anyone wants to, like try, they will have that information. Now that you're done with the course, you got into leading healthcare industry, right? How was the first day, or how was it, like?
Yeah, it was really hard. I'm not gonna lie, it was really hard. I was coming from academia with its own set of, like abbreviations and stuff. And then I go into corporate America, into IT. I felt like everyone was speaking a different language. I was like, I don't understand anything. The second day, I almost quit. I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. I cannot do this. I just don't understand anything. So I actually reached out to one of the teaching assistants from my course, and I told her, how did you do this? This is so hard. And she's like, yeah, it's normal. It's like drinking from a hose at the beginning. It's just so much information, so much new stuff. And she told me that it was okay, that I'll be okay. Just keep at it. They assigned me a mentor. I asked for a mentor. They asked me, do you want to have a mentor? And I said, yes, please. And so they gave me a mentor who also worked at this company. And I would talk to her every day. And she would be like, what did you learn? What did you like? What did you not like? So she would help me calm down. And now she's my best friend, because that was, if she hadn't been in my life, I would have quit maybe.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so that's amazing. That's how I survived those first weeks.
I never knew that you were dealing with that. You seem to be very, very confident during those meetings. How did you manage that?
I'm glad it showed that way. I'm glad. On the inside, I was dying. I was like, what is all of this? I was trying, but like that question it was really hard on the inside, like to manage those fears and expectations. Yeah.
You were like the duck who is poised outside, like in a lake, but you're paddling so hard underneath the water.
Yes.
But that's good to know,
Yes.
And how important is mentorship to you in your journey?
It's so important. I don't think I would be here if it wasn't for mentorship. Like even before in my previous career, I had a great advisor who was my mentor, and she was so important to me. I would not have finished if it wasn't for a good mentor. And then when I transitioned, I had this mentor who has become my friend, and now I have another mentor who is also great, and she's guiding me on what comes next, because I started so like new in all of this. Now I'm thinking about what comes next. And I don't think we're social beings, right? We need other people to understand what's going on with us, to help guide us. We just can't do everything alone. We don't know everything. And so that mentorship is so important, to get comfort, to get advice, to get knowledge, to talk. Just sometimes by talking to someone else, you understand yourself better. So it's so important.
Mm-hmm. You think in your own perspective, like we just get used, we just have the tunnel vision where we think in a certain way, and they would open those other perspectives like, oh,
Perspectives.
we
Yes,
can think that we can do that way, or, like that helps.
exactly. Different perspectives from other people. That's so important too. Yes.
Yeah. Getting a PhD is the highest degree. How was that shift? Like I know you want to change, but then it takes a lot of hard work. And then back in the head, you would be like, oh, I did something so I put a lot of years into this, and then I have to shift my career path. What was the thought, or what was that one thing that you kept saying to move forward towards IT direction?
It was hard. It was very hard to make that decision since I was even a little girl. And then during my all of my years in grad school, I thought I had my life planned out. I thought, okay, I'm gonna finish this, I'm gonna get a tenure track, I'm gonna get tenure, then I'm gonna be a full professor, and that's what my life was gonna be. And so it was really hard to disassociate myself from that career vision person
Yeah.
that I had in my head. And it was really hard to make that decision. I actually, when I first did the apprenticeship, I wasn't sure I was still gonna do it. I had a therapist at the moment that I decided to talk to her exclusively about this career transition. And I think that was so important because I was just talking through all of this. What she told me to do was just a simple pros and cons list.
Uh-huh.
Just it's as simple as a pros and cons list for everything, but for both. One for my former job and then for my new job. And she just said, just write it down. And I just started writing it down, and it was so obvious that for me, it became so obvious that it was the best decision, because even though I had this idea of what I wanted to be and what I wanted to do, the whole situation with having to move every time and having my partner and I like uproot our lives every time a job wouldn't be working, it was just so heartbreaking for me. And it was not my priority. As for some people, that's their priority and they want to do that. But you have to kind of do that list, pros and cons list, based on your priorities. What are your priorities? It was the best decision in my case, in our case, because it was better fitting for our priorities. This change in job and having this much more of a room to choose where we wanted to go, what we wanted to do. So yeah, that's how. But it was important for me to talk to someone about it, and just not, it was all over in my head a lot thinking about it. But then until you don't talk to someone about it and actually put it down to pen and paper, you might not be able to see it.
Yeah, writing those pros and cons is one thing, but then letting go of that thought is another thing. That's what I feel.
Yeah.
So every time that you feel, because you're comfortable being that lecturer, or
Yeah.
that's your safety, that's something that it's within you, right? So what was the strategy that you used every time you questioned yourself?
Yeah. So I just decided to do this for a little bit, in the sense that I'm going to learn and I'm going to see what comes out of this. And I never really stopped thinking, oh, maybe, oh, I'll never teach again, or I'll never do that. But I just kind of let life show me what there is to see,
Mm-hmm.
because I still think that maybe I will end up somewhere where I can like do something with my background with linguistics or something. And I will just kind of explore what options there are for me. And I just kind of decided I'm just going to learn what there is, because just like I didn't know that there were jobs in social media with natural language processing, then I'm learning new things about what I can possibly be. And I just know that in the end, like my passions will always come through, and I will always find a way to get back to that, but with a much more open mind about what I can do. And I do think that in the future, I would like to do something that combines my passions and my knowledge. But at this moment, I'm just learning and just trying to do what I feel like it's the good path for now.
I think when you joined the IT industry, you had a newborn and a small child. I know that.
Yeah.
And it's like around COVID time,
Yeah.
you had like your hormones are haywire because of the postpartum and then all this COVID.
Yeah.
Do you have any systems or any habits that kept you so organized? What were the strategies that you used to survive through? It looked like you breezed through. That's what we felt. So tell me about that.
Well, I had gone through grad school. Grad school is not it's not a walk in the park. Grad school is like, oh my gosh, that was really hard. And then when we decided to have babies, we're like, we knew what we're going in for. I was finishing my dissertation with my second, and I was actually looking for jobs, and I was interviewing all over the country. Like I said, for academia, you have to I was interviewing in California, in Texas, and I was traveling pregnant, giving lectures. But I was very career focused. Like, I'm going to finish, I'm going to get a good job. And then COVID hit. And actually, when COVID hit, it was kind of like a relief, just like, oh, just calm down. Just calm down. It's okay. You don't have to do anything. Just travel. Just write. I finished my dissertation. I did. But after that, I was like, just enjoy this time. And I did do launch code with my baby was 3 months old at the time. And actually, because it was during COVID and it was online, I was able to do it because I had my baby. Like, I would breastfeed my baby in the middle of class without the camera on. But like, I was a new mom and I was like taking this class and like sitting there with my baby watching. Like, that's how I was doing it. Remote work and remote learning has been great for me as a new mom. And then when I started at Centene, then like being remote, actually, I noticed helped a lot, with having little kids. And yeah, I had a toddler and a newborn. It helped a lot with getting organized and just not having to spend the time, commuting and doing all of that. That helped the remote part of it. I also learned to kind of relax with the COVID, actually, just kind of be like, things will work out for the best. I don't have to be like chasing everything around. I'll do my best and then things will work out.
Awesome. So for young women who are hesitating to change their career path or who wants to do something more than what they already are doing, what would your advice be?
I think my advice would be do it scared, like even if you're scared, do it. Just still do it. We're all afraid of things. We all have fears. We all feel like that imposter syndrome sometimes. But just if you want to do something, if you feel like it's the right thing for you, just do it. Even if you're scared, do it scared. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. If you realize you didn't like it, you didn't like it. But just always don't stay thinking maybe you should, maybe you shouldn't. Just do it. When I did that pros and cons list, I was already doing it. I was already in the apprenticeship. Like, I was already trying it. And then I was doing the pro con list to help me decide if I was going to stay in it or not. But just do it and see what comes after that. And so you might like it, you might not, but you won't regret it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's such a nice walking through your transformation, Mayela. I really appreciate it. And then I'm looking forward for more success stories from you. I'm pretty confident that you are going to get through that and grab the sky. That's what I feel.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, I'm happy to share my story. I'm happy to share if anyone wants to contact me, if they want to know more about what I did or what I didn't do or whatever, feel free to contact me. And just thank you for letting me share. And I hope this encourages anyone who's afraid and wants to do something, just do it.
Yeah. Thank you.